Hey, everyone. My name is Tanae Costley, host of Real Talk Business and Motivation, and also creator of the Facebook community. So, tonight I am doing something different this episode. We are going to be celebrating my thriving 30th birthday and also just discussing thriving and transformation because it's so important to be able just to flip the switch from survival to thriving. And I feel like I spent a lot of my 20s just in survival mode, but subconsciously. So I wanted to do this episode because I know the last two we kind of focused like on mindset, self-motivation, and I thought it would be really, really dope to just focus on thriving and transformation today and also give you guys a chance just to ask questions and get to know me a little bit more. So I would like to say I will be answering questions throughout the whole entire episode today. So if you have anything, please feel free to drop it in the chat. This was a super late episode, guys. At first, I was going to like bypass it this week because I'm like, it's my birthday week. I kind of didn't have it planned, but I'm like, instead of taking a break, because I tell everyone else, like, don't take breaks, grind, all gas, no breaks. But instead of taking a break myself, I thought, how about just doing a 30th birthday episode special and just focusing on 30 ways to thrive and transform, guys. So I don't know if you're tuning in right now. I don't know if you're in your 30s or if you're in your 20s, but I feel like this episode will be very valuable to anyone who's in that transformation stage. And when I say transformation, I mean switching from survival mode to thriving mode because it's really a difference. It's really a difference. And I'm going to get into it a little bit more and share some of the background, share my background. But if you're watching right now, I hope you are sipping wine. If you're sipping wine, drop what type of wine you're sipping in the chat. Tonight, I'm actually cheating because I am sipping a mimosa. But I also have a bottle of wine too. And that is 19 Crimes. But I probably won't get through the mimosa because I don't drink heavy like that. But it's my birthday week, so I thought let's sip and just chat. Let's sip and chat. So if you're tuning in and you sipping, let me know. Let me know what you're sipping on. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm going to be as transparent as I can today. So I don't just want to focus on the business aspect. I also want to focus on the mental, the mindset, and when it takes just to switch from survival to thriving. So I do have like over 30 ways to thrive. I know no one's probably counting, but I have a lot of things. But I want to be personable today because I know I've been bringing guests on every week. This is my ninth episode. So one more episode away from number 10, which will end the first season. But I thought about it. I'm interviewing everyone else and just getting a little bit of the other guest motivational story and letting them share about their background. But I haven't really had that chance to connect with you guys and give you more insight into who I am and, my history, my background, what am I doing? Like a lot of you guys just know me from the Facebook group or on Facebook. So I just want to be more personable, more transparent. So if you guys are just joining, it is my birthday week. I just turned 30. Whew. First I was like, oh my God, I'm not feeling like embracing it. But now as I did a lot of self-reflecting, I'm just like, I have to embrace this 30 because my 20s was about surviving. I was really in survival mode, just subconsciously just doing what I felt like I had to do at the time to get by. Whether it was for me working my 9 to 5 and just being miserable and content and stagnant. Not really content, I'm gonna say that. Not really content, because if you're miserable, you're not content, you're not happy where you are. But I feel like I was at a stagnant period. And as as a young mom, as a single mom myself, I just felt like I gotta do this 9 to 5, whether it's paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. I just gotta do it because I'm totally scared to just take that leap of faith to follow my dreams and my goals. And that's what it all comes down to. When you're in survival mode, you're really operating out of fear. You're operating out of a lack-based mindset, of course. So in return, you're not really going to be able to gravitate the opportunities and the people and just be able to bring your vision to life if you're operating out of fear. So in order to transform and to switch, I had to be able just to retrain my mindset. I want to say it's about retraining, because when you have a lot of conditioning and when you're used to doing things for a certain amount of time, whether that was all my 20s or all my life, or whether that is for you, maybe 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, I'm not sure. But when you're used to doing something for an extended amount of time, it's sort of like conditioning. And before you know it, you are subconsciously consistently operating out of a fear base, a lack mindset. And it took a minute, and it took a lot of self-awareness and self-reflecting for me to be able to be like, oh my God, I got to snap out of this. Because if I don't snap out of this, I'm just going to keep being stagnant. I'm going to keep being miserable at my 9 to 5. I'm going to keep feeling unfulfilled, but also that urge, like it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to get up and go, whether that was clocking out and never clocking back in, or whether that was setting healthy boundaries. And I'm talking about with people, places, things, anything that wasn't serving me had to go. Blocking out any negativity to remain positive, because if you know and you're in a transformation period, if you're on an entrepreneur journey, if you're on a spiritual journey, no matter what type of journey you're in, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of energy, and it's a very intentional thing, which means you constantly have to retrain your mind. You constantly have to keep yourself motivated. You constantly have to be self-aware and conscious of who you have around you and what environments you are placing yourself in. So that right there just takes a lot. So it all comes down to just being mindful, being intentional. Um, just being able to acknowledge where you're at and where you're trying to go. Well, whether you are miserable at your corporate job, whether your business is stagnant and not growing, whether you feel like the circle that you're in is drama filled or it's just not mutually beneficial. Like, no matter what the stagnant situation is, once you acknowledge it, the next thing is to take action. And taking action can be very difficult when you're switching just from that survival mode to that thriving mode. So this episode is going to be all about 30 ways to thrive and transform, because I really feel like it's important for me to start sharing more about my journey, especially for my members that's in my group and don't really know too much about me. I'm pretty sure they see my cool reels and me hopping in and out trying to help people and trying to motivate others. But as far as me sharing my personal story and my journey, I haven't really did that at all. So guys, feel free. I'm gonna keep it real this episode. And I'm sipping. So we're supposed to be sipping wine and just, having a formal conversation, a chat. So if you're sipping wine right now, let me know what you're sipping. But I will be going through the comments as I go. Hey, Nikki. Thank you for joining. Her question is, I would like to know more about your business and what you do. Okay, now. Well, initially, just to give you guys a little backstory, I was working in corporate, sort of like systems operation, IT, finance, background, customer service. But originally, I was operating the workflow for a medical system that consists of over 20 hospitals here in Maryland, and just helping them facilitate the tickets, which was very high volume, that could consist from everything to payroll, to accounts payable, to HR, anything that was sort of like finance related. But even though I was knowledgeable in the finance department, I came from an IT background, so I'm like a I'm a computer geek. I'm embracing that because I love it. Because nowadays it's tech. Back in the day, I was a little like, huh. I didn't want to be identified as a geek or a nerd, but nowadays I'm like, I was ahead of the game. So yes, I am a computer geek. So my background is in like corporate IT, finance. Last year, I actually decided to quit my corporate job and say, to hell with this. I'm not happy. I was already going in there every day and telling everybody I'm a boss, not a worker. I'm a boss, not a worker, and having people look at me crazy like, "Girl, you clocked in just like I clocked in a day." And I'm like, "I know I did, but it's not going to be going on too long." So I was talking about it. I feel like that was me like preparing myself and kind of like pumping myself up because a lot of times we are our own support system. So I was pumping myself up. I was mentally kind of preparing myself. But of course, I was speaking it into existence too. So those around me, those closest to me, even people that wasn't close to me at all, I was just like, hey, like, my boss not a worker. I don't belong here. Da da da. So long story short, I quit my corporate job in April 26th of last year. So it hasn't even been a year, guys. I had been doing my business, my virtual assistant business, which I changed to virtual solution because really hate the term virtual assistant or VA now because it's so popular in the Philippines. And sometimes when people hear VA, they think cheap. Let me just give you $3 or $4. And that's not what I do over here because I provide a lot of solutions that a lot of VAs don't, which is more so like tech, behind the scenes, automation, systems. But of course, I still do like websites and logos, and I work with real estate agents doing contracts. I do drip campaigns. I do a lot of marketing, which means I create content for other people. So initially, that is how I got into my virtual assistant, which is now virtual solution business, is just kind of incorporating those soft skills I had from my corporate job and turn into my own business. And even the soft skills that I wasn't able to kind of display or kind of like show like what I'm gifted in at my job, I knew I was good at it. And I just decided to say, hey, I'm going to start my business. I see this is in demand to be able to help other businesses grow. I already help like friends and family that's around me anytime they need something when it comes to like the computer, whether it's something small like business cards or something big, like can I help them automate something to make their business process run smoother and efficiently. I was always that type of person like, oh, I can do that. I got an idea, or I know how to do that. Like, so I've always been that type of person helping others around me, especially when it comes to tech, virtual assistants, or just anything in the online field in general. So that is initially how I got into that. And I was part-time for about, I would say 2 years, a year and a half before I decided just to take that leap of faith. And I knew I had to take that leap of faith, guys, because I don't know if anybody's out there like kind of trying to balance 9 to 5 with a business and really trying to grow that business. But for me, it was hard to do that. As a single mother too, it was really hard for me to be able to balance my time between a 9 to 5, a corporate job, and trying to do my business, which is what I was passionate about doing, which I knew that I wanted to be able to help other businesses grow and be able to build something in my name. So to sum it up, that is how I got into that. Just incorporating my soft skills and natural gifts and kind of making it into my own business, doing research, adding myself to a bunch of Facebook groups where I can network with like-minded people. Um, I think that was the main things. That was my first steps, joining Facebook groups actually. So I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to Facebook groups, and I've used them in the past for myself to benefit me growing my business and just seeing how other people in the field was operating, and maybe not comparing because we don't compare. That's on my thriving list, but just kind of anytime you put yourself in a situation and then you haven't went to school for it or it's something new, no one in your circle is doing it, you always just want to network with like-minded people. And that's exactly what I was doing, positioning myself for success, because your network is your net worth. If nobody else around me is doing what I'm doing, I'm saying, hey, let me find people that's virtual assistants. Let me find people who are helping people businesses grow. Let me find other digital marketers. Let me find other website developers. Let me find other computer geeks that love like system automation and things of that nature. Let me find those people and let me see what they are doing to be successful. Let me see. And by me kind of like filling myself up with that type of knowledge, networking with people, but also being intentional and mindful about what I was listening to and what I was watching. So that goes from switching from loving hip hop to listening to podcasts like business podcasts, motivational podcasts, listening to things pertaining to real estate, like anything that my clients was in or anything that I felt like could help my business grow is what I was really intentional on listening to and watching. So that is what kind of helped me thrive in the business aspect, is because I'm always the type of person, if I don't know something, I'm going to go research and find the solution, or I'm going to go network and find someone else that is doing it and maybe reach out, maybe collab. I'm not scared to open my mouth and I'm not scared to be transparent with others and let them know what I'm good at and what I'm not, or even if I haven't done it before, letting them know that too, because I do think that's important in business. Like, be transparent with your clients and be transparent with your customers. But that is how I got into the virtual solution aspect of my business. Now, as far as getting into content creating for myself, I've been creating content for clients and here and there for myself. But I would say it's been like maybe like a year, or maybe when the Reels Play bonuses picked up is when I really dived into doing my own reels and my own content, because I was making content for so many other, business owners and entrepreneurs that I wasn't really worried about my own. I post sometimes to my business page. It was like, okay, I'm getting clients from LinkedIn. I don't really have to do all of this, but as far as really diving into content creator, I would definitely say since about, I want to say July or August, as far as going hard with my content. Thank you, Ty. And once again, if you are just joining, it is my thriving 30th birthday week. And tonight I am just here to celebrate with you guys and kind of give you more insight into who I am. Because we all know I bring on guests every week. I let them share their motivational story, their tips, their tricks, and their background, their history, but kind of just bypass me this whole time. And I'm like, oh my God. I have this group and I have people that's watching the YouTube or listening to the podcast afterward that goes on Apple, Google, and Spotify. So I'm like, I have people paying attention, but I haven't really shared too much about me. So here I am, just to be transparent, just to be real tonight. So if you have any questions or if you're just curious about anything, feel free to drop it in a chat and I will share as much as I can. I'm pretty sure I don't have anybody here that will ask anything off the wall, but but if you do, it's a chance I might not answer it. But for the most part, we're keeping it real. It's real talk, business, and motivation. And I want to be transparent and make sure I connect with you guys. Thank you to whoever said happy birthday. And just to let you know, if you are tuning in from Facebook right now, I'm not able to see your comment if you don't go to streamyard.com/Facebook and actually just sync it, like connect it to your Facebook. That way your Facebook name can show. But other than that, it will show as Facebook user. So I decided to stream this to Facebook as well. But usually I'm just YouTube, because I'm trying to build my YouTube platform up. So guys, if you're tuning in from Facebook, please feel free to go to my YouTube. It's the only thing I'm asking for my birthday. Go to my YouTube, subscribe to my channel. It's free to subscribe. It's free to support. So please feel free to subscribe to your post notifications on, because I do share valuable information every week and bring on special guests. If you're not tuning in, you are missing out, because there's people out here really monetizing and making money from their social media and being able to build their brand by just leveraging it, to be honest. So I'm going to go ahead and look through some of the content. Some of the questions, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Whoever said happy birthday again. Ooh, someone said I had time set aside for every morning to have self-development and focus on mindset. I totally think that's important. That is one of the things that's also on my list is a morning routine can be very beneficial. And if you guys read like I do, you know that some of the most successful people wake up early in the morning. I'm talking about like 5 a.m. just to get a jump start on their day. So I do think it's important to have a morning routine. I like to personally wake up early. I like to listen to affirmations or some type of meditation that allows me to start my day balanced and grounded. Because if you work with a lot of people, if you are a business owner, if you're content creating, you're putting yourself on Front Street. I just feel like it's very important just to take some time out to listen to something positive at the start of your day. So all the time, I'm not just hopping on Facebook, Instagram, or social media right when I wake up. A lot of times, I am listening to affirmations or some type of positive meditation or something on YouTube. Something there's a lot of good ones if you look up like Queen affirmations if you're a woman, of course, or if you're looking for entrepreneur affirmations, there's ones like that. Sometimes I join an entrepreneur morning prayer. There's a lot of different things I do, but I just want my energy to be right starting off the day because you never know what to expect in business. And if you start your day balanced and grounded, then I feel like everything else will kind of level out. Level out. I feel like I'm at the point where I mastered kind of self-mastered my emotions, and I see a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of content creators that are still struggling with that. So I do think that's important when it comes to thriving, being able to self-mastery, and sometimes that does start in the morning, what your morning routine is. So thank you to whoever chimed in and said that. Someone said, anyhow, is it possible that we don't get renewed? It is possible. Well, for me, I have never not got renewed, to be honest. Even on my business pages that I haven't posted on, because keep in mind I have four business pages and yeah, four business pages on Facebook that I can monetize on. So it's one or two that I don't post too frequently, and they have still gotten renewed. Sometimes it does take a couple days, guys. So I would say if you haven't gotten yours renewed, don't panic, but and just be patient because it could take a couple days. And stay positive. Be patient and stay positive. Does anyone else have any questions? Let's see how to create more excited content. Um, it depends what is your niche. Drop your niche in the chat. But as far as creating more exciting content, I would say don't limit yourself. And I'm not sure what you do exactly, but don't be sales driven. Like I see a lot of times people trying to directly just like sell the product, like sell, but they're not entertaining and they're not providing any educational value, but they just want people to buy their products. That usually doesn't work. So I would say you can always try voiceovers. You can try skits. We had Nikki come on the show and she went over skits and how her skits have been able to help her content grow and her following grow, and she's going viral and stuff. And skits is always something that you can do that is pretty entertaining if you sit down and you plan a good one. But I would say anything that's kind of funny, anything that's funny. All right. Someone said, I did not realize that you could not see who was commenting on Facebook. I was the one who said happy birthday. And that's it. Oh, yeah. Thank you, LaShara. Thank you. You are right on the money as far as that. So another thing that I can say when it comes to thriving and transformation, things that I have on my list is journaling is very important to me. I feel like sometimes we deal with a lot of people in business. We deal with a lot of people putting ourselves out there on Front Street creating content, whether it's negative comments or not. I feel like journaling always brings me back full center Whereas though, even if I'm not talking to family or friends, I'm able to just self-reflect by just journaling how I'm feeling, or if I feel like I'm struggling with something, my journal is like my safe space. I would say this is where I can get out how I'm feeling and just be able to kind of move past it. So I would definitely suggest journaling. Reading for thriving is always important. More knowledge, the more power. Defining your core values. Defining your core values. Let me sit for this. Because defining your core values is so important. It's so important, not only in business but in your everyday life. If you don't have your core values defined, then more than likely it's a possibility that you could be aligning yourself with things and people and just stuff that does not mesh with you. So if you know your core values, you're sure of yourself. One of mine is integrity. So I don't like to surround myself with people that lack integrity. I don't even like to do business with people that lack integrity. Integrity is super, super important. And that's one of my core values that I'm strong on, and I'm not bending. So one thing I can say about thriving is so important to know your core values, define your core values, even tune them up if you feel like they have to be readjusted. But if you have those set, then a lot of things go hand in hand. Whereas though you won't be having a domino effect of your life going downhill because you wasn't firm on your core values or setting healthy boundaries. Which is another thing that I just want to come to. And just be mindful, especially building a business, doing content. I feel like there's a lot of distractions. There's just a lot of distractions in general. And one of the ways I set healthy boundaries is sometimes I turn my personal phone off and I only have my business phone on. That way I know that I'm setting that boundary as I'm going to strictly focus on business from this time to this time. I don't need no distractions from anyone. So I'm going to turn my personal phone off. But that's just one of the things that I do that helps me stay focused and make sure I get everything that I need to get done. Thank you, Sin. Thank you. Thank you. This is my thriving 30s. This is definitely my thriving 30s. And it's so crazy because it's just so much that I have learned in my 20s. It's just so much that I've implemented. And I feel like as I got closer to 30, like the later part of my 20s is when everything got to be like full blown. Things started moving super, super fast. I want to say for like, especially like the last 2 years, it was like nothing but self-awareness. Like for the last 2 years, it was big changes that I was making, leaving my job, taking that leap of faith, walking by faith and not by sight, cutting off certain relationships, certain situations that wasn't serving me, making sure I'm not dumbing myself down in certain social situations or circles, certain social circles. Make sure you don't dumb yourself down, because if you do, why should you have to dumb yourself down for anyone? I've always been a super intelligent person, academically gifted growing up. So I would say that it comes down to being authentic and not dimming my light for anyone. And when it comes to thriving, that is super important, because it's no way that I can attract and reach my goals if I'm dimming myself down in any type of way. And a lot of times we do that subconsciously. And when you become self-aware, you realize that, wow, I see I'm doing that, and that's not necessarily in my highest good, or that's not necessarily me um, moving in a higher vibration, I would like to say. So it's just a lot of things I just became aware of, and it was irritating the hell out of me to kind of self-reflect initially, like that first like acknowledgement is like, oh shit. Oh shit. I can cuss on my show. Oh snap. I've been wasting time. I've been freaking, it feels like wasting time when you really become self-aware, when you really tap into yourself and just start to be in tune. It just felt like I was wasting time. And when I did that self-reflection, At first came a lot of shame, kind of like, damn, like I stayed at this job longer than I feel like I should have ever stayed. I should have been left, because ultimately I always knew I was destined for more. Ultimately, I was valedictorian. Ultimately, I was academically gifted. Went to an all white school, blue ribbon school, Ben Carson Scholar, number one debater in the city. Like I was always that type of. I was a nerd. This glow up is crazy, but I was a little nerdy back in the day. So I can honestly say, like, self-reflection is crazy. Going on a journey is freaking crazy, and just switching from survival to thrival mode is the most fulfilling thing ever. But it also comes with mixed emotions initially, I would say. And that's just part of, I feel like, the release. It's like acknowledgement, and then it's like release, and then it's like hit the ground running kind of thing. But you still release as you go. You still release as you grind. I can honestly say that. That's the best way that I can put it. Hey, Ty. Oh yeah, and I model too. So when I say that I wear many hats, it's crazy. I've always been able to wear many hats, especially when I was younger. So I've always was able to do things academically overachiever, but I've always never been afraid of being in front of the camera or being afraid to be on stage. So I came to a point in my life where it was like, damn, I have so many natural God-given gifts and talents. It's like, damn, how can I be a model and still be taken seriously as a businesswoman? Or damn, how can I do business but still incorporate my modeling? At one point, I felt like I kind of had to choose one or the other, or kind of like find that balance, because it's when you're naturally gifted at kind of like a lot of stuff, it's like I kind of feel like picking and choosing. I don't know if that's just me, but if you guys ever experience anything like that, where you feel like, well, I can't be this or I can't be that, or it's going to be hard to be taken seriously if I do both, let me know, because I feel like that was one of the stages I went through, definitely in my 20s. It's like, dang, I want to do it all, but I feel like I won't be taken seriously if I do both, or if I do everything. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. But let me know if y'all sipping too, because I'm sipping. This is a mimosa though. I'm cheating, but I do have my wine bottle on the side. But I'm sure I won't get to it. But we are just sipping wine and chatting. Let me know if you guys have had any, like, I don't know, like epiphanies or come to moments. Like, who else is just switching from survival mode and walking into thriving mode? And that comes with figuring out your purpose, finding your purpose. That comes with setting intentions. That comes with blocking out negativity, pursuing your dreams, letting go of anything. I'm trying to tell you, I let go of bad habits. I let go of my job. I let go. If I was dealing with somebody, I let the ass go too. If I didn't feel like it was a good fit. Friends, family, like a lot of stuff had to kind of go through like a funnel with me through my transformation process. It was like, okay, it's true. Everybody cannot go with you to the top. You try to bring everybody if you want, and watch yourself stay where you're at. No, but that's as real as I can get. That's as real as I can get. If you try to bring everybody with you, more than likely you're going to stay where you're at, because not everyone has your best interest in mind. And that goes for family, that goes for friends, that goes for anybody over here. Like that goes to anybody. And sometimes you got to take breaks from people. So not necessarily have to cut ties altogether, but sometimes you got to take breaks, because honestly, if I wasn't so comfortable with myself and being alone and just being able to create that atmosphere for myself where I could tap into my gifts, my talents, my purpose, being able to harness that energy if I can actually go through my transformation journey and not let it like drag out and become stagnant. Because a lot of times when you have a lot of energies around you, you kind of just, yeah, that shit is affecting you in one way or another, especially if it's not good energy. Especially if it's not good energy. I can't stress that enough. I'm a very self-aware person. As you can see, I'm a Pisces. So we are very intuitive. I'm a very intuitive person. And my intuition helps me be able to thrive, to be honest. Okay, hey Ty. Okay, happy belated birthday. The thriving part, believe it or not, you probably are already in your thriving season. You probably already in your transformation. What I see you do, the reels that I've seen you do, what I see you post is always motivational, or it's always you just being your authentic self. I can always say you put yourself on front. I love to watch you. And you always let your personality and character shine through. So a lot of times we are too critical on ourselves. We are too critical. We are our own worst critics. And that's also something that is on my list. The 30 ways to thrive is to be patient with yourself, the practice positive self-talk. Because a lot of times if we're not comparing ourselves to others subconsciously, because a lot of people won't admit that they compare themselves to others or what they see on social media. But even if you're not comparing yourself to others, you still don't need to be too hard on yourself, because the world will definitely do that for you. So in order to thrive, it comes with a lot of patience, especially if you are in a transformation stage where you are releasing things, honey. Ooh, it's going to be tough, because once you hit that self-awareness stage, and you acknowledge where you're at in life, and you can kind of look at things in hindsight and be like, damn, like I told you, I wasted time, or damn, I stayed in a situation, I stayed at a job longer than I feel like I had to, or damn, like my business could have been taken off if I would have just did this or did that. It's like it's going to be a lot of that stuff coming up. So I'm talking about positive self-talk is the best thing that you can implement. And that comes with retraining your mind. That comes with just anytime you think something negative, or anytime you're overcritical on yourself, just to revert that back to something positive. Like, be able just to switch it. And it's easier said than done, but it's really an intentional thing. I can honestly say that. It's a very, very extremely intentional thing to do. But I would like to say, I think you're thriving. I think you're thriving. You might not be where you want to be yet, neither am I. But are we in the process, and are we trusting the process? I would definitely say yeah. So keep doing what you're doing, because I love it. Honestly, I do. And whoever said happy birthday, thank you so much. If you are joining from Facebook and you haven't went to streamyard.com/Facebook and connected it, for it can show your name, that I don't know who you are, but I definitely appreciate all the birthday wishes. I want to say, let's go Pisces. Thank you. Victor, it was just your birthday too. I do see some things in the group. I keep up with some people, so I seen it was just your birthday too, fellow Pisces. So happy belated. And thank you to whoever this is. And yes, trust me, I'm a Pisces. I know these things, girl. And one thing I can say is, I would say the most negative thought I ever had, or most critical thought I had to myself, is that the process is too long. I'm like, damn, like, why I'm not there yet? Like, why I don't have everything that's on my vision board yet? But that's very counteractive, and so that's something I also retrain myself to be like, oh, trust the process, everything happens in divine timing. But it's a very intentional thing, because we're human, and a lot of times that stuff comes from conditioning. I know a lot of people have been through some type of trauma in their life, and childhood trauma especially, and a lot of people don't even, not that in tune with themselves to even know their childhood childhood trauma or the things that they lacked as a child or their conditioning. But a lot of times people are stuck in survival mode because they're not actually healing those childhood issues, the childhood trauma, even trauma as an adult, losing parents, losing people. Like it's just a whole bunch of things. And shoot, if you're not tapped into that part of yourself, you kinda haven't reached that part of thriving yet. I can say that. Because more than likely, a lot of the way you act, a lot of how you communicate with people, maybe even how you conduct business, can be tied to childhood issues, childhood trauma, conditioning as a child. It don't even have to be anything that deep, but conditioning is a big ball game within itself. Just conditioning alone. A lot of people are conditioned, or a lot of people don't even have a support system. Let's talk about that. A lot of people don't have people around them to motivate them, uplift them. If anything, some people have the opposite. Some people definitely do. So I would like to say that it comes with healing those things, trauma, issues. And we want to get deep here, because if you really want to thrive, you're going to have to go all the way back down memory lane. You're going to have to tap into what were you naturally good at as a child? What were you naturally good at growing up? Like, what did you struggle with? What did you lack? Why are you reacting the way you do? Why are you dumbing yourself down? Why are you dimming your light? Why are you scared to take a leap of faith? Why are you holding yourself back? Like, I could go on and on, but it really gets deep like that. Thank you. Thank you. I hope my thriving mindset recently. I found my thriving mindset recently, and I'm stoked to see where it takes me. I am all about inspiring other women one day at a time. I want to thank you for being so inspiring, girly. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm so glad that you are on your thriving journey as well. It is not for the weak. A lot of people will start to dig up parts of their self or their shadow side, or just recognize like trauma, and they're not really ready to deal with it, so they push it aside. But at the same time, they're just kind of like prolonging their journey. They're like prolonging getting to that thriving stage. They're still in survival mode. You got to actually want to do the work. You got to actually want to commit to bettering yourself. I would say that, and that comes with a lot. I'm talking about a lot. Shoot, you might have to change your whole life. And it's really that deep. But I'm so happy for you. Okay. Yeah. Usually you don't just get everything good out of it. Usually it comes with a lot of acknowledgement of bad habits, or maybe say that you had a lag mindset, maybe saying that your boundaries were, you was fumbling your boundaries, you just out here just dropping your boundaries for certain people or places, and not just like being consistent across the board and just standing firm on those boundaries and core values. So it's a lot, but nothing never just comes with all good. I would say it's usually some type of something that's bad, or not necessarily that you want to deal with it, or not something that you want to even acknowledge that comes with it. So I want to say, anybody that's going through that journey, dang, stay committed, and don't give up, because the other side of survival is thriving. And once you tap into that, it's like, I can never even break up with this journey. Because it's like, once I'm in it, I'm so committed to just bettering myself as a woman, bettering myself as a business owner, just making sure I step more into my purpose. That way I'm able just to consistently keep motivating and uplifting others. Because if you're someone like me who shares their energy, or kind of not give it out, but I'm very empathic and I love helping people, but that comes with absorbing a lot from others, and that's a lot to deal with. Being a person that motivate everybody else, you got to be so in tune with yourself. First of all, you got to be so in tune with yourself. You got to be so committed to your journey that even if you take on a lot of other people's energy while you're helping them, whether that's in business or coaching or I don't know what you do, but if you're an entrepreneur or content creator, you're putting yourself out there some type of way. So in order to stay grounded, you definitely have to have a strong, very strong mindset. Very strong. I don't know who this is, but StreamYard.com/Facebook to connect your name. But I definitely agree, and that's why I brought it up, because I know a lot of times people don't really like to touch the surface with it, but this is real talk business and motivation. So we are keeping it real here, guys. And if it's anything that I feel like I've been through in survival mode that I feel like can help you, then I want to share it. And that is one of the things. It was just my birthday on the 13th, and my father passed away the day after my birthday. So it's always like kind of like an up and down time. But I'm so in tune with myself. Just healing from traumas that it affected me a lot in the past. More so, I'm more so stepping into kind of like a more balanced place, because there's a lot to take on. Losing my birthday was the last day I spent with my dad. That's a lot. But I reached such a grounded point in my life where I'm really proud of all the work that I put in and how committed I have been to my own transformation journey. So just by me doing that, I feel I don't know how to put it, but more in tune. Like I'm kind of less depressed around this time because I just like, damn, I'm putting in hella work. Like I know I'm building a legacy. So I'm kind of happy where I'm at in life, even though it's not where I need to be. And I think that comes from kind of like healing from trauma, really tapping into myself and just finding my purpose and just the feedback and the fulfillment that I get from helping others. So I've been through a lot of trauma as well. I've been always able to push through it, and whether it was me wearing a mask or faking it till I make it, I was always able to push through it. But now I can honestly say I'm in a much better space where I'm comfortable sharing that with you guys today. Because a lot of people deal with stuff like that, and a lot of people can't really pull themselves out their hole. So I do think it's important to share. And I like to say transform pain into power. So that is the stage that I'm in. I take it with a grain of salt, and I just work on doing things that makes me a better person, where I'm happy, I'm proud of where I'm at in life, and I feel like I'm making the people that I've lost proud as well. So that is something. I'm getting transparent on here. Let me take a sip. But guys, if you have any other questions for me, feel free to drop it in the chat. Thank you. Appreciate you. And if you are just joining, this is a special episode. No guest today. Just sipping wine and talking and getting to know me. I've just turned 30 this week. This is my thriving 30. A lot of people say dirty 30, but I'm not sure why. So I was like, this is just me thriving. Because 20s was about survival. It was just doing what I felt like I had to do, or a lot of conditioning. I feel like a lot of me operating out of fear. Because anytime you stay at a job you're not happy at, like you just doing that to live paycheck to paycheck, to just maybe put food on the table. I have an 11-year-old. I'm a single mom too. So a lot of that stuff was just fear of not having a backup or not having a support system. Like, damn, if I drop the ball, who gonna pick it up? I don't know nobody that's gonna pick up the ball if I drop. And just kind of switching that mindset from fear-based to faith-based. So I just doubled down on my faith and was just like, listen, I know I can do this. I'm not going to continue to make myself miserable. Also got to focus on me. as well as being a mom. So that's kind of like what got the ball rolling. One of the things that got the ball rolling was like, listen, I can't do this no more. I'm fed the hell up. I don't belong here. I know I'm destined for more, and so it's a lot of times it's a calling. A lot of times, I don't know if I have any other entrepreneurs on here, but if you quit your job, let me know. Let me know how that felt. Like, how did you know when it was the time to just get up and go? Like, did you just feel called to do it? Like, what was the feeling? Was it a get up out your seat and flip the tables? Like, but like, how did you feel? Because I just felt like I gotta freaking go and never come back. And that's exactly what I did. But every entrepreneur is different. But for me, I was like, first of all, my happiness is everything. My mental health is everything, and no longer wanting to be stagnant and really get the ball rolling. Really get the ball rolling. I wasn't living up to who I was supposed to be. But I am about to wrap this up. I did just want to just kind of give you guys like a more of an insight about me. I'm pretty sure I went over more than 30 ways, quitting bad habits, making better decisions, forming healthy relationships, making sure you take your career or your business or your craft or whatever you do seriously. That is very important. Pursuing your dreams, paying off debt. Let's go. Because thriving is not all about mentally and spiritually. A lot of the times it's also about financially. So paying off debt, fixing your credit, budgeting, making sure you have money in your savings. That's all on here too. I went over journaling, making sure you have a healthy outlet, even if you feel like you got to go to therapy or you just want somebody outside your friends and family to talk to. I'm an advocate for that. I know stepping into 2022, a lot of people are starting to switch over. But whatever you have to do to have a healthy outlet, whether it's journaling, reading, therapy, defining your core values, decluttering, organizing, man. Wherever you work at, the space around you, organizing, that plays a lot into how you will feel mentally and how productive you will be. I mean, if you're working from home and you turn around and you see a hella dishes in a sink or something, I mean, a lot of times that your mind is going to be decluttered too. So that's very important. There's a lot of books on it that proves that having a decluttered and an organized workspace or a clean house will also help your productivity levels and business. Let's go. Clear Moments, Pressure Washing and Supply Store said, left 5 years ago, the corporate world, business grew to the point it only made sense. Facts. I commend you for doing that. Excuse me. But a lot of times people wait. A lot of times people wait to make sure they're able to supplement their income. Some people just step out there and be like, hey, it's faith. Woo. like me. I mean, I was doing pretty well part-time, but honestly, by me balancing so much between working a 9 to 5, doing my business, being a single mom, taking my son to basketball practice, doing everything. It was like I cannot do it all. I got to sacrifice something. It's not about to be my business. So I'm damn sure about to sacrifice this job that I'm miserable at anyway. So for me, it was like I knew my business was going to take off because having a service-based business is kind of like your time, the amount of time you put into it is also kind of like the amount you make. Yes, we play smarter and not harder, but at the same time, service based is what it is, service based. So initially, even before like building a team and hiring people, it's going to be you doing that service. So it took me freeing up my time and taking that leap of faith. Like, oh hell no! If I spend this amount of time at my job, I'm just still living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not reaching my goals. I'm not able to take on more clients. More clients are wanting me to take them on, but at the same time, I'm still working my 9 to 5. It's not adding up. At this point, I gotta just take that leap of faith. I can't wait around and be like, oh, I gotta wait till I make a certain amount of money. It's like, no, this is a service-based business starting off. I have clients lined up, and I know how to market to get more clients. So I knew, like, even if I take this leap of faith and I don't have it all figured out, like, I really didn't at all. I was paycheck to paycheck still, and just making a little extra money on the side with the extra time that I had around my 9 to 5. But I didn't have a whole bunch of money saved up. Shoot. I think I just had a paycheck, to be honest, a paycheck and a whole bunch of faith and a calling, knowing that I was not supposed to be there any longer. So in order for my business to grow, I had to leave my job. It might have would have worked out if I would have continued to kill myself, like literally kill myself trying to do both. But for me, it just wasn't right. But a lot of people do that, and at one point I wish I was one of those type of people, because I would have felt more comfortable doing that. Everybody feels more comfortable when you have money behind you, when you got money saved up. Everybody feels like, okay, the time is now. But when you don't, shoot. That's like you just walking around with faith in your bank account, faith in a dream and a vision board. And that was definitely me. And it was super scary. But also, as far as just doing like just transitioning and knowing that I was retraining my mind and just becoming self-aware, I was like, damn, this is a part of my damn journey. I can feel it. I can feel that I'm not supposed to wait. I can feel that I'm supposed to just go ahead and leave. So I did. So I did. But yes, we are on the right page. We are definitely on the right page. But we went over pretty much everything. Positioning yourself for success is super important. Like people say, first I didn't understand when people was like, oh, the top 5 people that you hang around is really going to reflect who you are or where you go at in life. I was like, well, I'm a type of person. I can have all types of friends. Like I can have all types of friends. Like I know I don't move exactly like them. Well, I know that we're different in a certain type of way, maybe different mindset or something, like something is different. But I was always like one of those type of people at first, like, that's not true. Like I'm strong in who I am. Like I can hang with such and such, hang with this person, that person. But in all naturality, now I became more self-aware, and I totally understand. Totally understand, because a lot of times subconsciously, even if you think you can just hang with a whole bunch of people and you're so strong within yourself, it's not mutually beneficial to you though. At the same point in time, I don't know, you're just doing it because you're not self-aware or you're not really conscious. And I feel like in the past, like I'm talking about in the past, like my younger 20s, I feel like I'm saying, hey, yay, let's still hang out with people from high school. Or not to say, people from high school is bad, but just kind of like finding your soul tribe. And I want to sit at the table with people that know more than me, for I won't feel like I got to dumb myself down to fit in. Like, I don't want to feel like I got to dumb myself down. Or I don't want to be the smartest person in the room all the time. I want to sit at the table with people that know more than me, so I can learn from them. So subconsciously, don't do that. Make sure you position yourself for success. Your network is your net worth. So if you are networking with the right people, positioning yourself in the right social circles, and also using social media, leveraging your social media, that will ultimately help you grow, because it helped me grow. I don't think I got to say this, but not worrying about what other people think, not comparing yourself to others, not being overly critical. Yeah, try new things. Self-care. I just did a spa day for my birthday. I just went out in nature for my birthday. I just really wanted to stay grounded and balanced. So self-care is important. But it is 9:00. I am about to wrap this up. I feel like I was transparent. I feel like I gave you guys a little bit insight into me. I don't see any more questions. So I really enjoyed doing this as my first solo. This is episode number 9. So I'm one episode away from the 10th episode, which will close up season 1. So I thank you, anyone who is watching or catching the replay, who has been consistent and just tuning in, or even if not consistent, has just took the time to subscribe, support, and turn your post notifications on. Again, it is my thriving 30th birthday, and I just kind of wanted to share that, celebrate, especially members of my group, let you guys know more about me, and just sip wine. So I hope you guys had a great, great, great time tonight, and I hope you guys learned more about me. And let's just make sure we stay connected, we stay tapped in, okay? Let's make sure we switching from survival to thriving. But ultimately, I just want to see everybody win. So thank you for tuning in. All I ask for my birthday is for a subscribe. That's free. Okay. I do have my donate information if you do want to donate to my vision, my channel, the things that I am doing in business. If you enjoy the group and you feel like you want to donate, I do appreciate you. I don't never ask for that, but this is my birthday, so hey, I can do what I want. So, but thank you guys for tuning in on a serious tip. If you're in the group, see units in the group. Other than that, see you guys next Tuesday, and I will be back with another special guest. Gotta go. Bye.